In this video, we will talk about Mexico's economy. Mexico is a country located in North America, located between the United States and Central America, and has an average population of 135 million inhabitants. Mexico has a GDP of $1.37 trillion. In recent years, Mexico has attracted foreign investment and found ways to guarantee the growth of its economy. The country has a very diversified productive structure with agricultural, mining, and industrial activities. Oil is the main export product, and tourism also has a strong importance in the Mexican economy. The Mexican economy is closely linked to the United States due to the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, which commercially integrates Canada, the United States, and Mexico. This treaty was implemented in 1994, and Mexico's exports practically go to the United States, and around 50% of imports also come from the United States. Now let's talk about Mexican industry and industrialization. It accelerated greatly from the second half of the 20th century with the entry of foreign capital into the country, attracted by the supply of cheap labor and cheap raw materials. Transnational companies, mainly from the United States, have come to dominate the Mexican industrial park, and industrial activity is concentrated in large urban centers such as Mexico City, Veracruz, and Tampico, and the most relevant sectors of this industry are textile, food, automobile, petroleum, chemical, steel, and metallurgical sectors. Now let's talk about a topic that many people don't know about the Maquiladoras. In the border region with the United States, an area was created in the 1960s where tax collection is lower. This was done with the aim of attracting foreign capital to the region, with the aim of expanding the Mexican industrial park. Its implementation was supported by special legislation that guaranteed lower taxes and facilities for exporting production to the United States, which also benefited from the low remuneration of Mexican labor. This was the origin of a model of manufacturing unit known as the Maquiladora industry. These industries receive manufactured parts from the United States and assemble the final product on Mexican soil, because due to cheap labor, this industry can make its products. The first Maquiladora was established in 1966 and is currently found in several Mexican cities, but is still concentrated along the border with the United States. The production of these Maquiladoras is very diverse, so they produce household appliances equipment, furniture items, toys, leather goods, food packaging and canning, among many other types of products. A relevant point about Mexican industry is that due to the increase in wages paid to workers in China, and also due to the rise in transportation costs in global trade, the Mexican industrial park has regained its place in international competition. Another point we are going to talk about the Mexican economy is extractivism. Mexico stands out in the extraction of various natural resources such as silver, gold, lead, iron, natural gas, copper, and also oil. Oil, as I have already mentioned, is the main product exported by the country, and Mexico has large reserves and is among the largest producers in the world. However, its oil is very heavy and requires special refining to obtain by products such as gasoline and diesel oil. This entire refinement process ends up increasing the cost of production, and an important point is that Mexican oil production peaked in 2004 with an average of 3.4 million barrels per day. However, from 2005 onwards, production began to decline. And nowadays, it is recovering, reaching 3 million barrels per day, and a large part of this production is exported to the United States. An important point is that oil exploration was carried out exclusively by the Mexican state oil company Pemex. But after the recent change in laws, extraction can be done by private companies. These changes were created to stimulate the exploration of oil in deep waters of the Gulf of Mexico and boost the extraction of shale gas, which is an energy source that has gained great importance and has already transformed the energy reality in the United States, which is the world's largest producer of shale gas. Agriculture in Mexican territory is not very favorable, as the existence of mountains and arid climates reduced the availability of cultivated areas, and a large part of the production in this sector is concentrated in the Mexican plateau, where the temperatures are mild, the rains are regular, and soils are fertile. In agriculture, extensive properties known as haciendas predominate, which employ a large amount of labor and are still poorly mechanized. It is worth mentioning that the main planting products are cotton, sisal, coffee, and sugarcane, and the focus of production of these products is for the foreign market. And for the domestic market, corn, potatoes, wheat, rice, and soybeans are produced, which are basic items of Mexican food. Livestock farming is practiced in the Center West and occupies approximately 40% of the territory and is mainly focused on raising cattle. As a result of low wages in the countryside and also the concentration of land, many Mexican rural workers migrate to the States United in order to work on the country's agricultural crops. This has, of course, decreased over the years, but it still happens. Furthermore, some of them carry out the so-called transhumancia migration, which would be the idea that people go to the neighboring country during the harvest season and return after the end of this work, and these workers are known as braceros. In terms of tourism, Mexico receives around 30 million tourists annually, most of them Americans and Europeans. All this movement makes Mexico one of the 10 most visited countries in the world, and these tourists are attracted by Mexico's cultural and natural historical heritage, which pleases different types of tourists, from those looking for luxury itineraries to the more adventurous ones looking for their simpler and cheaper options. One of the most visited destinations in the country is the Yucatan Peninsula, which is home to the ruins of Chichén Itzá, which is considered one of the 7 wonders of the world and is one of the most important ruins of the Mayan people. All of these factors make Mexico an important country that has been gaining ground on the global stage.